Well, I think we're on the home straight now. It's ready to go back together. There were a couple of other things that I had to make, and I'll show you those. Just little things, and I'll zoom in and I'll show you those in a minute. But yes, it's ready to go back together. Now, I'm not going to film the reassembly because it's got to be done in a certain order. It's going to be fairly tricky. I've got to put the boiler on first and then put the heating element in. If I put the heating element in first, I can't get to the bolts that hold these straps on. That's my new stainless steel strap there. Yes, so I'm gonna work at getting this reassembled, and I'll bring you back once it's done. But I'll show you a couple of little things I had to make. So here's a sort of aerial view of the base, and there's a couple of little blocks. There's one there and there's one there. Okay, that's support for the heating element, and the two pins for the connector. And you can see that there is a Paxilin plate there on the back. It should resist any heat that gets down there nicely, and also insulates the pins from the firebox. So that had to be those little bits had to be done. But no, I think it's ready to go back together. So let's get on with it. Well, it's all back together. This one has been a lot of work. I think Charlie likes to give me challenges, and this one was a challenge. I mean, there wasn't really anything particularly difficult. There was just a lot to do with it. You know, building the heater and things like that. Then there was the boiler insert for the whistle. I had another little surprise when I came to put it back together. I hadn't realised, but the thread where the steam turret screws into the boiler here, that was completely stripped. So I ummed and ahed about that for a bit, and in the end I opted to solder it in. It's not ideal, but don't forget the pipe does screw into the valve chest here. So although it doesn't unscrew from there anymore, it does unscrew from there, so you can still take the whole thing apart. But yeah, I think the minimum restoration side of it turned out okay, because as you can see, you know, the state of the firebox is actually in quite good condition, really. Didn't need a repaint or anything. As I said earlier, I just repainted the top surface of this part here, left all the rest alone. So yeah, I think it's looking okay. Heat is in. I've conjected out, and there's no shorts anywhere. It's a fair distance, probably about half an inch, maybe a bit more away from the bottom of the boiler. So I think we've got a good clearance there. Yeah, it all works. Old cassette drive belt there, which makes a good belt for the dummy governor. But yeah, all we've got to do now is get it steamed. Well, this is my second attempt to steam the lovely Bing Wolf engine that Charlie Miller very kindly donated to my channel. The first attempt was a failure. It did run, but only just, and there was a fairly substantial steam leak from the sight glass, which hopefully I've now fixed, so that hopefully will be okay this time around. But there was another happening, which I think comes under the heading of never assume anything. As you know, I only repainted the top here of the engine frame. I didn't touch the firebox or the rest of it because the paint was in quite good condition. Unfortunately, at some point in the past, this engine had been repainted by somebody and they had not used high temperature paint on the firebox. Consequently, as soon as the heater started to heat up, this happened. I'll just zoom in on that. Basically, most of the paint on the firebox burnt off. So, bear in mind, there's no naked flame in there. It's only my, my made up heating element. So if that's hot enough to do that, then obviously whatever this paint was, it was probably just ordinary acrylic paint. So I'm going to have to strip it all down again and repaint the firebox in high temperature engine paint. But for the purposes, I think most of it's burnt off, to be honest with you now. So for the purposes of getting this to run, I'm not going to worry about that now. I'm just going to get on and we'll see if we can get it running under its own steam. Well, we still unfortunately have a bit of a leak from the sight glass, but it is making steam. Look at that. That's 185 volts I've got on the heater, which is obviously more than enough to provide steam for the engine. It's running a treat. Just got to sort out that sight glass leak. But there's obviously nothing wrong with that. Running a treat. See if the whistle works. Yeah, it's quiet, but it works. So my heating element is a success. Yay, I'm so pleased about that. We just got to stop the sight glass from leaking and we should be fine. Well, there you go, Charlie, definitely running under its own steam. Turned out alright, didn't it? Apart from the grotty paint on the firebox, which I've got to renew. Let's see if we can get it to run slowly. Well, the regulator appears to be working. Yeah, it runs well. Well, if you can get a steam engine to run slow like that, there's not a lot wrong with it. Probably just a little bit too slow. Probably turn the power down a little bit. Obviously don't need that much, it's plenty, it's providing plenty of heat. Runs an absolute treat. Just got that leak to sort out on the sight glass. It's a lot better than it was. It was literally jetting steam out when I first tried it. So I put O-rings on and everything, but obviously it's not quite sealed properly. But it's running. Hey. Running a treat. That's pretty much flat out. I've got the heater turned down now. It's only running at it's only 180 volts. Oh yeah, I'm well pleased with that. Well, it's taken quite a lot of effort. I think this has been, what, a 4-parter? But it was worth it. We got there in the end. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the series of videos on this very rare Bing Wolf model steam engine. And follow me on the journey to getting this thing working, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers.